good. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moving properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Board, we need a motion to move the personnel report from the consent agenda. So move.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carried. Okay. Okay, public participation.
We have none.
Don't have any? Okay, let's move forward. Good news. This, Mrs. Robin Lloyd, the NCASCD Teaching Excellent Award.
Chairman Riddick, I would love to ask Ms. Briner to share with us. Ms. Briner nominated Ms. Lloyd for this high honor. It is a state honor, and she was recognized in Pinehurst last week. And then when she comes forward to accept her award, I would love for Ms. Stokes to also come up with her as her administrator. But we are very proud of you. But since Ms. Briner was unable to be with you, since it was our SCLPD day and she nominated you, I'd like for her to share some of those reasons why you were nominated.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
As Dr. Clark said, yes, I nominated Ms. Lloyd for this award. The award is called the Teaching Excellence Award for the state of North Carolina for the year
Wow.
2022.
That's awesome.
It was open to all educators, and she was the one person who was representing the state with this. Yes.
Awesome. That is awesome.
In the questions and the reasons for this nomination, Ms. Lloyd has been a special education teacher all of her career. We know that some of our students who need the most support are often needing so much that sometimes they become overlooked. And Ms. Lloyd has done her part to be sure that those students get the service they need.
Awesome.
Not only has she been an EC teacher for all these years, she's chosen Washington County Schools for all but her first. And so her dedication to the district, to the students, and the family is part of why she won this award.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
great.
We asked Miss Lloyd to bring her beautiful plaque
Oh, wow.
provided to her.
Mhm.
And then we have this one to give you. And Ms. Stokes, if you'll come, stand with her too.
Mhm. Got another one?
All right, now I'm gonna get a picture with the state winner too.
That's what you want. Okay.
And it'll take about a week, but they'll load these onto the NCASCD website and they'll be on display for a year.
All right, great.
Okay, next, we would like to recognize two of our board members. They are able to get extra credentials and recognitions on the state level if they attend a certain number of professional development. And we had two shout outs from Washington County at the state conference. So Mr. Fred Norman with a diploma of honor. And then they sent this pretty certificate, shiny certificate. So we need to get a picture of Mr. Norman. Ms. Simpson, if you don't mind. Smile on your mask. Thank you. Thank you. And also Chairman Riddick, and his is an award of excellence. Sorry.
Thank you. And tonight, it's not on our agenda, but I do just want to make mention tonight that we are still praying for our fellow board member, Mr. Norman, the loss of his mother. When one of our board members hurt, we all hurt. And so I would like to just take a moment, just to have a moment of silence for their family tonight. Thank you so much, Mr. Norman. You continue in our prayers. Thank you. Our consent items for approval board, as we have presented tonight, we do need a motion to approve our consent items agenda.
So move. Second.
Moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you. Washington County School Personnel Report. Where is that at? Okay, now we got it. Okay. Board, we need a motion to approve the personnel report
As amended.
as amended.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the HR report as amended.
Moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried.
And I'd also, Chairman, we removed one person from the personnel report. I'd like to ask for approval for the one teacher position that we removed from the personnel report on a separate vote.
You need to name them.
And it was Robert Sproul, and Mr. Riddick would like to recuse himself.
Okay.
So do we have a approval?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Motion carried. Thank you. Washington County Schools will be governed and supported by 21st Century Systems. SFLA Architects presentation. Mr. Robbie, it's in your hands.
While he's pulling up the presentation, I will,
Is it mic
I'll
working?
just start by making some.
I was trying to see, was your mic working? Is it?
Yeah,
He's going to come fix it for you
okay.
because we've got good sound now.
There we go.
There you go. Green light.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay. While he's getting the presentation up, I'll just make some overall comments.
Okay.
First off, it's been an exciting, it's been an exciting few weeks.
They're trying to get you right, Robbie. We got a new system that
We're
we,
good. Am I going to have a clicker or be able to advance it, or I'm going to let you do it? Okay. Okay, so just some opening comments. It has been an exciting few weeks. There's been a lot of data collected. Thank you to Dr. Carr. She has been awesome. She's gotten us answers to all the questions. One of the new faces here is Rick Green. Rick, just stand up. Rick is with First Floor. He's the guy that's crunching all of these numbers. So for every option we showed you, there are a handful of spreadsheets behind that. So lots and lots of data. Couple of big picture ideas here. First off, none of these options include an auditorium. So if we want to try to get an auditorium, my recommendation would be we do it with whatever option we select, and then we come back not this year, but next year, and we apply for that grant money next year to try and do an auditorium. So that was one big picture idea. And then keep in mind that all of these costs are not just first cost, but these are also operating expenses over the next 37 years. And so when you look at the first cost between all 7 options that we're going to be looking at tonight, there's roughly about a 10% difference in first cost. The big difference between these options is operating expenses. And we can get into that. I'm gonna go over big picture of these options, and then we can obviously drill down into as much detail as y'all would like tonight. First, I would ask, how did you all get the packet of options?
Yes.
And do we want to go over every option? Or do y'all just want to start asking questions? I'm happy to do either, but I also don't want to spend 30 minutes going through each option if y'all have already taken hours looking at it. So I would ask, what is the pleasure of the board?
but the questions, I mean, I know we've talked as a board about the questions that we have, we recess closed session.
Okay,
And so we're gonna go back into closed session to ask the questions
okay,
that we have to ask.
okay.
So I guess, board, it's your pleasure. Do y'all just want him to go through the options so the people will see?
Something, as briefly as you can.
Okay, we will do that. Okay, so we
Because the
start,
package is available for anybody that means.
That's
public
right.
Knowledge, so.
right. So we started with 5 options, and then we added a 6th, and then we added a 7th. And I think the superintendent might have added, I can't remember who added which one, but, and we also talked about some others that we ultimately just didn't work out for a variety of reasons. So you can see the 7 options listed here. And there's really kind of 2 numbers that are important in this. And that's the year 1, the cost up there in column line in row 3. Can I move over to the side, or I need my microphone?
No, go ahead.
Actually, I can carry my mic. Do I need to carry it with me?
No, you ain't got to carry with you, Robin. They can hear
You
you.
got a clicker for you.
A laser pointer.
Okay,
It doesn't click through. It's just a
Okay,
laser.
laser pointer. Okay.
Okay, so I'm not
Oh, we got guests coming and y'all can't get it together. Look bad.
I just need people to turn things on for me.
And when a guest preacher come, you gotta have stuff right for them, Dan.
That's right.
Okay, so this number across the top, that's your annual total cost, the first year. And then if you'll scroll down, number down here at the very bottom in bold, that's your total cost over the entire 40-year period. And you can see these options vary, from about 75 million. That's a cost of 75. This is a savings of 48 million. That's why it's in negative number in parentheses. And then over here, a cost of 98 million. So they vary from about saving 48 million to costing you about 98 million. So there's a really big range. And again, the interesting thing is it's not in the first cost. It's largely in operating expenses. So we'll go through each option. Why don't we go to the next slide? So this is your option number one. And in this option, we'll start with Plymouth in most of these in this area. We're going to demolish the high school, central services, sell the lot, renovate Pines to a K-5, build a new 612 and central services. And then we would, the early college would move to Roper, demolish the middle school, and then the county would get the gym at Roper. And then Cresswell, we would renovate the early college high school to pre-K through 5, renovate and demolish portions of the school, leaving the gym and cafeteria. So that's option number one. And you saw the cost of that option on the previous slide. And we'll go to the next slide. This is where I wanted to point out to you really interesting data. And this is the same for all of them. We have this slide repeated with each option, but the construction cost you see here varies. Option one, it's 129 million. That's the most expensive one. Option 3 is about 116, 113, 16, 129. Actually, this is the most expensive one, option 6. You can see that the construction cost varies very little. It only varies about 10% roughly. But then if you go down to the bottom, the net cost after the 37 years, you can see how big that number varies. So again, negative 48 million here to a positive $98 million here. So that is kind of an observation that you would carry through to all the options. Let's go to the next one. So the next one for Plymouth, we would demolish the high school and central services, sell the lot, demolish Pines and build a new 9 through 12 with a new central services building. We would then renovate the middle school to a K-8. And then again, Roper Gym would go to the county. And that is kind of a theme in a lot of these options. And then Cresswell, we would renovate Cresswell Elementary School and High School for a pre-K through 8 school. So that was option 2. You can see here the total cost. You can see option 1 and option 2, the total cost down here is about the same, 75 million and 73 million. Let's go to option 3.
The central services be on the same site?
So option 3 is by far the most cost-effective solution. And this is building a new demolished Pines, build a new pre-K through 13 building on the Pine site. We would again demolish the middle school and demolish Cresswell, leaving the gym and the cafeteria, going back to the county with those facilities. And again, this is the most efficient option. And obviously it's really one big facility for the whole county. And it makes sense intuitively that it would be the most efficient option. You can see it. This particular option saves you $48 million. And what that means is if you compare doing what you're doing now, what you've got now, to one new school that serves the whole county, that'll save you the $48 million. So this is all benchmark against where you are today. All right, go to option 4. So in option 4, we're demolishing the high school again, demolishing central services, demolishing Pines, building a K-12. But in this case, we're also building over here at Crestwell, a pre-K 13.
Right.
Which, so you don't have one facility for the whole county, you have two. And intuitively, it would make sense that that will cost more. So let's go to the next sheet now and see. So that you can see you go from saving 48 million to it costing about 20 million over the next 40 years. So that is option 4. Moving on to option 5. Okay, in Plymouth, again, demolishing the high school, demolishing central services and selling it, and demolishing Pines, building a new pre-K through 13 building with central services there. But again, we're over here at Crestwell, renovating Crestwell Elementary School, high school for a pre-K 8. And then the cost on that one, let's go to the next slide. That one's a positive $14 million. So, pretty similar to option 4. Not a big variance there. Option 6, let's move on to 6. So in this option, we build the new pre-K 12 at Plymouth, in the Plymouth area, with new central services. And then again, at Crestwell, we're renovating the high school for the early college and demolishing the elementary school, leaving the gym and cafeteria. And the cost on that one is $13 million over the next 37 years.
Right.
And the difference between 37 years and 40 years, if you're wondering, there's a period of construction in there. So that's really the difference between those two numbers. And then option 7. Let's see, in option 7, we are demolishing the high school, building a new 6 through 12 building. We're renovating the middle school for pre-K 5, and then putting the early college over here at Crestwell. So in this case, we really have 3 major facilities. And again, intuitively, it makes sense that that would be probably the most expensive option. So $98 million for that option over the next 40 years. So those are the 7 options. We did, and I don't know if y'all received this slide, but we did bring in the demographic consultant. I don't know if I said this to start with, but your student population is showing actually going down just a little bit. As things go, I would say it's pretty flat, really. It does drop a little. Obviously, if you built a new building, you'd probably get some of those students back. So maybe you could argue that it would be flat. In all these projections, we used your student population as of today. So this building is designed for today plus just a little bit in case you get a little extra students back, more than what you have today. So instead of dropping, we're assuming it stays flat plus just a tiny bit. And obviously we'll design the building so that they can all be expanded. If something really wonderful were to happen and a new industry were to come in and you had a bunch of new students, we would design the buildings to accommodate that. So that is where the analysis is, big picture. James or Michael or Rick, do y'all have anything to add real quick?
I do, Robert. I know you may mention, you said about we keep on saying building a new central services, but I think one of the options that we had talked about, I thought y'all was supposed to submit it down. We talked about making the middle school the central office. So if we make the middle school, if we renovate the middle school into a central office, well, it don't really have to be renovated there. I mean, that building is, because we talked about the middle school being the central office and what is that building? The multi-purpose
Right.
center being the actual boardroom. That would be midway of the whole county.
Yeah,
So if we can just write this option down to see how that would look for us.
okay, we can do that. We can
Yeah,
evaluate.
I want to see what that looks like.
And that
without
was
building-
shared, that
yeah.
was shared with the company.
Yeah, without building a central office. Because my concern more is you know,
So we did look at that option and it was extremely inefficient to take a large building like the Washington Middle School and just use a small portion of it.
okay, for the central services.
It's really cheaper to build a new section.
Okay,
than
okay.
To renovate. So it
Okay.
did not make any sense.
Okay.
That's why we didn't include it.
all right then, okay.
And I think it had to do, and I'm showing my expertise in this area here. I think it had to do with that building has been constructed to have individual heating and air units per room. And that was the inefficiency
Okay.
in the
okay.
building as a
Okay.
whole. And you
All right.
said it was 50,000 square feet and we didn't need 50,000 square feet. We needed something like 10.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm fine with it. As long as y'all explored it, I'm okay.
Really, in a nutshell, the big issue was the operating cost of that size building.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Brace. Okay,
Y'all just want to tear our school right on down, right?
You know, I'm gonna say this. While looking at those options, I was really shocked to see that we was gonna invest in a central office. I was surprised because we thought it gonna be just the schools, but when I read the options, I looked at it, I said, wow, we get a central office.
It makes sense.
I think it goes back to the comment that maybe when we started, operating expenses,
Yeah.
they don't seem, it seems so logical and intuitive that you could just
You're right.
move into Washington Middle School
you're right.
and say, let's use it. Well, there's some issues. Number one, it's a change of use.
Yeah.
So from a code perspective, you got to bring it up to code now, which that in and of itself is very challenging.
Yeah,
And then the mechanical issues, and then you have this massive building that you're heating and cooling.
Yeah.
And those expenses are just very,
I
very
had that
real.
many staff. I can understand that, but I mean, my thing is, I would like that, you know, like you said, next year we'll come back and apply for the money to get an auditorium.
Yeah.
I would hate to be building a school without an auditorium, then we have to play games.
Yeah.
You know, so it would, so,
Maybe we can do that down there.
yeah,
And what we were doing there is we were really looking at the way the legislation is written
that's right.
and how can we not ask the taxpayers, you know, minimize the request of the taxpayers and maximize the amount of money that is available
Yeah.
from the lottery grant.
Yeah,
Because it does say that you can apply year after year.
that's right. So if we apply, just say we apply, okay, we get the 50 million
Mhm.
next year, because we're saying building is gonna be, we would start building what? I mean, we would be in buildings by 20 what?
2025.
2025, I mean.
And you're unable to use your ESSER funds if it takes that long. So
So-
ESSER funds are off the table if it takes till 2025.
Oh, I
So-
don't know how to use that for funds.
The last one is, has to be encumbered by June 30th, 2024 and spent by September 30th, 2024.
So that needs to be taken into consideration.
So,
Find a way to use the ESSER funds.
so I guess, if we apply for the piece for the, auditorium, because we're doing it next year, we'll be able, that can go ahead and be a part of the building plans. So the auditorium be ready when the schools are ready.
Yes, what I would like to do, if the board thinks this makes sense, I think it makes sense to go ahead and design the auditorium
Okay,
with the main building.
okay,
And go ahead and bid it as an alternate. So then if you get that money the next year, you'll
okay.
have just started construction.
So that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that could, and then we would just start it, so they'll be able to continue
that's
with
right.
the auditorium piece. Okay.
Very, very smart.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. That's the only question
like
I
that.
have.
Thank you
The
so
other
much.
questions we have, we can go back into
So
closed session. Boy, y'all have anything else?
No,
Right,
thank
man?
you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Robbie. Discussions, approval of the Washington County Mass Monthly Update and Review.
Recess. Let me change the thing.
I'm gonna say that we are.
Okay, board.
I say we leave it where it is. So
Okay. No, I would just say, by looking at the TV and looking at Pitt County,
we
Pitt
don't.
County have removed a mandate.
They're going.
And I'm just using you for example, and we could, I guess, keep it like it is, I guess. Okay.
I agree with you, Mr. Norman.
Definitely agree with that.
We're gonna keep our mask.
But we looked at it next month.
Again,
With Pitt County.
consistently, yes.
We going,
I'm just saying,
I
what's
understand.
happening all around us.
Yeah.
we going to Washington County.
So it's the pleasure of the board. We need a motion, board.
So moved.
We need a
Second.
motion.
We maintain our mask mandate.
Okay, need a second. Okay, been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Right.
Motion carried. Mask mandate remains in place. Mr. Phelps is not with us tonight. Your minutes for the Nosborough
That doctor.
report. Is anything specific that you want to talk about in that report, Dr. Carr?
It just references that we went before the board and shared information about Washington County schools, but it just, the minutes just show information Pat provided.
Okay. I do want to mention that we are, we've already given direction that we submit, have that, the new order been submitted for withdrawal. At the last board meeting, we made a motion to submit another.
The resolution.
Resolution. Share
that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. So we'll be submitting another
Resolution.
resolution for withdrawal out of Nursville. We're gonna continue to do that.
Yeah, they get tired of it.
Mhm.
Doing it to that.
Committee updates. Finance Committee.
Jordan, you join us via the Zoom.
Okay,
And we're in right now.
okay, all right, no problem.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Hey, Ms. Jordan.
How is everyone?
Fine, how are you?
Good, thank you. I have a couple of action items for the board. I have 3 budget amendments. The first one is going to be the state budget amendment 2214. And in that budget amendment, we're balancing out our driver's ed. After the restart transfer, I'm adding an additional 1689.15 to driver's ed. We did an ABC transfer, moving money, months of employment out of CTE vocational ed and moving it into program dollars for the CTE program. That was $81,703 to add to the CTE program dollars. Exceptional children, after the head count, we have a $19,016 reversion where they took the money back due to our head count. For the principal bonus that was paid out in January, we got an allotment of $5,922. And actually, $100 of that was to the CTE bonus that we paid out to the teacher that got a bonus for that. For transportation, balancing out that budget based on last year's allotment, increasing to by $26,247. And so that brings our total state budget at this point up to $12,267,031.52.
Okay. So we want to go ahead and get an approval on that.
Okay,
Board, we need a motion to approve the state budget amendment 2214.
But Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the state budget 2214.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried. Okay, Ms. Jordan.
all right, for the next budget amendment, I have federal budget amendment 2215. And for this one, we got an allotment for $75,000 for the Title V sexual risk avoidance education. For EC special needs targeted, we got in $5,500. ESSA 2, an additional $7,428. ESSA 2 learning loss, that's going to be used in the summer, is an additional $1,717. ESSA 2 summer career, an additional $1,138. ESSA 3 homeless bonus, homeless students, $20,000. And then ESSA 3 IDA grant to the states, $68,811. For ESSA 3 IDA American Rescue Plan for preschool, $16,043. And then ESSA 3 IDA teacher bonus. This was what we paid out in January, $71,082. And so that brings our federal allotments to $12,129,779.04.
Thank you. We need a motion board to approve the federal budget amendment 2215.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Jordan. Go ahead.
And the last one I have is capital outlay budget amendment 2216. And this is just to reflect on our books, the allotment of $24,836 for our bus finance charge that we got back in 1819.
Board, we need a motion to approve the capital outlay budget for 2216.
So move.
Second.
Moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried.
The next item I have on the agenda is the selection of the auditor for the next 3 fiscal years, beginning with fiscal year 22. The audit committee recommended Anderson, Smith and White, PLLC, to the finance committee, the BOE finance committee. And so now we're coming to the full board for approval of the new audit contract.
Ms. Jordan, where are they located in? Ms. Clark wants to know.
Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say Rockingham, and that's off the top of my head. Hold on.
That's where we see it.
That's it.
Rockingham, North Carolina.
Yeah. That's
Got a good head on the top. All right, thank you.
it.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan. So board, we need a motion to approve Anderson, Smith and White, PLLC, for our auditor recommendations for the next 3 fiscal years, beginning with fiscal year 22.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried. Ms. Jordan, just one quick question. Are they going to be a little more on time than we previously dealt with?
Yes, actually, what I mentioned in the finance committee was that unlike most auditors, they specialize in school districts. And so normally I don't see my auditor until like May, but he's like, I'll see you in this month, February, March. So they do start early because they're not tied up with tax season like traditional accountants are this time of
Okay.
year.
Thank you. And so you can tell them they can go ahead and get to work.
Thank you. And I just need your signature on that contract that Miss Pettiford has for you.
Yes, ma'am. She made me aware.
And the last action item I have is for the board to select the vendor for the CTE computer lab. So that money that was transferred from months of employment to program dollars, Ms. Wrighton is going to be redoing 2 labs at the high school. And so we have 3 quotes in there for the first lab. And the recommendation she's going with, or she's asking the board to consider, and I didn't write it down. Oh, IT Savvy out of the 3 quotes, but you'll see all 3 quotes in this. I just need the board to decide.
We already do some work with Savvy, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
We did.
Okay. So 2.
Yeah, we already doing work with them then.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go what's been recommended. We'll need a motion to approve with IT Savvy.
Sir.
So moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you.
Yes, so then for the informational items I had in there, the January board report, the board expenses for January. I did get up with the insurance company to give me a quote on insurance certificates. And so only one company came back to me with a quote, and they're located in Plymouth, and they could adjust the rates for those time of bereavements based on the amount of people. And so it was either going to be from 0 to 100 and then over 100 to for the two different rates. And so I can share that with the school sites. And then you can share it with the public that wants to rent the facility. The quotes that are going to be in that is just based on what we talked about. And you would still need to contact the insurance company at the time of the event, because it just always fluctuates. I couldn't lock into a price, but she definitely says she can work based on capacity.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you doing that work for us, Ms. Short.
And then that's it. That was everything that we discussed.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
You too. Okay, reminders and other items of interest. You want to go over those, Dr. Carr?
Sure. It's just reminding parents that our schools do send home progress reports. So progress reports are coming out this week for elementary and middle on the 10th, and on the 17th for the high school. Just a reminder also to our parents that President's Day is only a holiday for just high school only. Elementary and middle school is in regular session. However, it's an early release day. So we are on two different schedules for the 21st. And then the next one was just a reminder for the board that Ms. Jordan has a budget session for board members on February 24th. There is a Black History program, which will be a virtual program at the high school on February 28th. And then, of course, we've got some March events with more progress reports and early release days. And then I'll just roll right into a couple of other announcements, if that's okay. Just accolades and thank yous of appreciation to everyone that was either a participant or an organizer for our professional development day on Friday. I think our SEL workshop day was a huge success. A lot of work and effort went into it, but just like a performance, if people don't show up to partake of the event that was scheduled, it's unsuccessful. So board, we had 149 people sign in. And so that was an optional day. And I just commend our staff for stepping up, participating in a well-needed event, but I also commend the team in a well-organized event. We had 16 sessions, and we are pushing out thank yous to our partners and could not have done it without our partners. And just an appreciation for everybody that participated in every way in that event. And we advertised it as the first annual. So we hope that that is one of many. And have appreciated the feedback that participants shared with us, and we will listen to that and continue to improve it. Pines Elementary has a special guest artist this week that's doing a residency with specifically our fourth graders on improv and the importance of music and how to build upon that with artistry. The students have already participated in an assembly, and parents will be invited to go watch their fourth graders perform their own works of art later in the week. We are recognizing our counselors this week. So our schools are busy doing special things for our counselors. We'll bring them before the board for recognition in probably April, along with some of our other support staff. really happy to commend the middle school and the museum that our art classes have started. So our students are participating in their classes. So lots of good things going on in our county and a lot of people working hard for the youngest of our citizens.
I have a question. When did they start it? Just giving the high school and the early college,
On the college schedule.
that President Day off?
Be on the college schedule.
It was in the calendar.
And we are required by law to have 11 holidays. Their school calendar doesn't go until Memorial Day. So we had to add a different holiday in to meet that requirement for calendar law last year. And so that was the day that was chosen.
So y'all chose that day.
The committee
Calendar committee chose that day.
with lots of meetings. We're getting ready to start them up again for next year's.
Thank you, Dr. Carr.
Yes, sir.
We'd like to take opportunity, take time tonight to say thank you to our principals for being here tonight. Our administrators, thank you for all you do. To our central support staff, to our teachers and everyone in your prospective places. Thank you for all you do for our kids every day. We appreciate you. Board, we need a motion. If there's nothing to come.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make this statement.
Yes.
Speaking in behalf of the Norman family, we'd like to thank Dr. Carr, Washington County School Board, Ms. Patty Ford, Ms. Jordan, and Washington County Middle School for the cards, flowers, and phone calls. It makes you feel good when the passing of your loved ones, that sometimes you need help from people to keep you going. Because when you read a letter, a card, it builds you up until that final day. And I'm just thank y'all for doing that.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, Mr. Norman. Continue prayers for you and your family. Board, we need a motion to recess back into a closed session. We would like to make mention that there will be some decisions made when we come out of closed session tonight. So thank you for your time. Board, we need a motion to recess back into closed session.
So. Second.
Okay, so moved and properly second, all in favor? Motion carried. Thank you. We're gonna ask SFLA if they would Okay, after much consideration and talking, like going back into closed session, board, we need your pleasure on options that we'll choose to proceed with the needs-based grant, along with the help of the county commissioners, the other party that was signed the needs-based grant for money that is a 0% match. That is awesome the way legislation has been wrote and rewrote, so we are able to do this. So I think this is the best time for us to do this now. So we're asking for support not only from the community, but from our county commissioners and this local board, because we have a allegiance to our students. They
Yes.
get them the best education possible and facilities. So what's your pleasure, board?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we go with option 3. Do I need to include
Yes, with
the
the,
gift back section? We're gonna gift back Washington County Middle School to the county.
yes.
Mr. Chairman, I think also that number 3, option 3 is a good selection.
Okay.
It got everything that we really need for Washington County.
Okay, Ms. Clark? Your pleasure.
Y'all know mine.
What's yours?
They give that to the county so they won't tear my school.
So option 3.
Option 3.
Okay, all right. So we have a consensus board. We're gonna call, I have called for a motion.
You have a motion, you need a second.
I need a second.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor? Motion carried. Option 3 is gonna be our selection. We do want to mention is, our board member, Ms. Cherry, has stated because of the rich culture and the rich history that is affiliated with Washington County Middle School, we want to gift that back to the county, to them to deem necessary, do whatever they would like to do with it, but it has such rich history there. So we would definitely like to gift that back to the county. So board, is there no further business? I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and proper second, all in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all again.